So I managed to piss off all the Bleach fans. But how? Well, I made a power scaling video. But wait, it gets worse. Hold on. And I said Naruto won.
Squidward.
Now look, it was my first ever venture into this digital war zone that is power scaling on the internet, at least when it comes to making a video. So of course I made mistakes, right? A lot of mistakes. Mistake number one was thinking that making a video such as this, power scaling 3 of the most popular Shonen Jump titles of all time against each other, with 3 fan bases that have been at war with each other for the better part of 20 plus years, wouldn't end with a dumpster fire of a comment section. It's almost been a year and I'm still taking my lashings. Yes, I'm sorry, Master. I'm sorry I tried to play it safe, Master, by establishing this quote-unquote level playing field between the 3 verses, Master, trying to make it equal and fun for everybody, Master. I'm sorry, Master. I still stand by Naruto winning equal stats, though.
Say it! Say it! Say it!
Naruto still wins. Now that my PR statement is out of the way, looking at these comments and all of this outrage, I'm starting to think it's bigger than just Ichigo versus Naruto, right? It's certainly bigger than me. I'm starting to think it might be bigger than Ichigo versus Luffy or Naruto versus Luffy, whatever combination you want to choose. I think it's bigger than hypothetical death battles and, you know, online power scaling, even though obviously that's how we kind of got here in the first place. Again, I misjudged a few things and forgot a couple things about each series when I was making this video in 2021. I'm still sorry about the Sokyoku thing. You know, saying stuff like Luffy was only strong enough to destroy mountains and that someone like Kaguya could defeat a mind like Yhwach. But let me tell you, man, the backlash that I got from all the Naruto and One Piece fans, woo, it has absolutely nothing on the backlash that I got from the Bleach fans. Dear God.
Oh my God.
And again, I think it's bigger than me. I think it's bigger than this video. This is the reason why I'm making this video right now. I think Bleach fans have just had enough, man. Enough of being overlooked as a fan base for all these years. Enough of being misunderstood as a series. Enough of the disrespect in general, you know what I'm saying? With the 1000-Year Blood War anime about to drop this fall, and with last year's one-shot chapter potentially setting up for some sort of continuation, sequel series, whatever in the future, Bleach is seeing a spike in popularity right now that it hasn't seen for a pretty long time, and Bleach fans don't want to hear a single bad word about the series, let me tell you. And I get it, you know? Despite the narrative, I am still a Bleach fan too. Bleach's reputation has always been an interesting one in the community, whether in regards to its manga sales compared to its contemporaries. In terms of the big 3, One Piece has always had it on lock. The rushed and dissatisfying nature of how the manga ended, or that common narrative that's out there about the story peaking somewhere during the Soul Society arc and then kind of losing its way during the Arrancar saga and falling off even harder after Aizen was finally defeated. Bleach has always been somewhat of a punching bag, you know, for people to get all their anime hot takes off on over the years, and especially after the manga ended in 2016. It's like a flood of Bleach hate came out of nowhere, and like, you know what I'm saying, the series, it wasn't even there to defend itself, really. If you've ever stumbled in the Bleach pocket of AniTube at all in the past 5 years or so, then you know the type of stuff I'm talking about. When it comes to the big 3, man, Bleach has always been the underdog. It's the series that got the least amount of push marketing-wise. I mean, can you name me one good Bleach video game that isn't Brave Souls, which even that isn't on console? For example, like the litany of other Naruto and One Piece games that there are that we can enjoy. Even Ichigo as a main character has always felt kind of overshadowed by the likes of Naruto and Luffy, with their, you know, lofty dreams and ambitions and whatnot. These colorful personalities that have taken the world by storm. A lot of the criticism aimed towards Bleach always somehow comes back to Ichigo's lack of agency as a character, just because he doesn't have as loud of a personality as the big homie Monkey D or the Child of Prophecy, figuratively and literally. I'm saying all this to say that, look, Bleach fans, yes you, if you're even still, they probably all unsubscribed and blocked me out of their minds. But look, Bleach fans, if you're still out there, I get it, all right? I'm sorry. It was like I poked an old wound and like it started leaking a little bit. It's been rough being a Bleach fan. You know, it's kind of like being a Black Clover fan nowadays. People just love to hate on the series for whatever reason. Like they're going out of their way to ignore these awesome badass characters and these deep relatable themes. You know, going back to power scaling for a second, another aspect in how Bleach has been disrespected over the years. There's so many Bleach characters that fight with these abstract concepts on these spiritual planes of existence, right? And I just kind of brushed it under the rug by calling it ambiguous. Like there's no finite way to determine how powerful Bleach characters actually are, which looking back on it now really sounds like a cop-out. It's some really out there stuff, you know, that in the hands of a hater or someone inexperienced, not like me, can easily get mishandled or made to seem like some sort of narrative loophole that Kubo just uses to move the plot along, right? I bet it's frustrating for the people out there putting in hours and hours and hours of studying all these esoteric and very cryptic aspects of Bleach to a scholarly level. You know, listening to some scrub on YouTube talk about how the Bleach power system is too ambiguous to be analyzed properly. And Ichigo just gets handicapped from lack of solid supportive evidence. It is what it is. It's the reason why also so many of these Bleach-focused channels have popped up in the past 5 years or so, now that I'm thinking about it, almost in response to all of this Bleach hate and downplay. My ultimate point here is that Bleach just deserves to be treated with much more respect, right? For me, obviously, when talking about Bleach in a power scaling setting, comparing it up against One Piece and Naruto. For everyone else in the comment sections and on the boards and forums, on websites all across the internet, just letting their tribalism take over and willingly insult and disregard Bleach as a series just because they might like certain characters or certain story more. Bleach has a lot of dirt on his name that has accumulated over the years, ironically, because it's called Bleach. This is for all the people out there that want to call me a Narutard or a Bleach hater or whatever. I just got a couple of things, 3 things that I think in particular, especially deserve more respect whenever people talk about Bleach. First thing is the art. This is the biggest issue that I've always had personally with Bleach detractors over the years, how they talk about Kubo's drawing and how it's quote unquote devolved over the years. Honestly, I think it's the complete opposite. Specifically for Ichigo as a character, like you can see in his face, the way that Kubo draws his face, you can see his growth as a character, as a person. From this cheeky, teenage, angsty, kiddish kind of face that he used to have all the way back in the beginning, back when the story was more humanized, I guess. And then watching it transform into this much straighter faced, much more sleeker design, more mature looking warrior that Ichigo would eventually become. To me, it's great. It's like not only Ichigo, but Kubo has now finally fully realized this vision that he has for the series. Out of the big 3, Bleach has always had my favorite character designs in Shonen, especially when it comes to the villains, bruh. The way Kubo uses empty panels, sometimes without dialogue, sometimes without backgrounds, sometimes with absolutely nothing at all, it's never showed signs of laziness or rushing in my eyes. That is until maybe like the final 3 chapters. But again, that's of no fault of Kubo's. In my opinion, it's always put that much needed extra emphasis on the actual events happening. Those sudden rushes of despair that Bleach always has running throughout its story. Number 2 is Bleach power scaling, but I don't need to tell you that. There's plenty of other channels out there that can explain to you how Ichigo's raw power could be at a high multi-dimensional level just from how revered his Zanpakuto is among all of Bleach's strongest characters like Urahara, Shunsui, Kenpachi, Aizen, Yhwach. I could go on all day. Just because a lot of Bleach techniques are abstract, especially towards the end of the series, and just because a lot of attacks we don't actually see and it's just entirely lore-based for the most part, doesn't mean that we can just ignore or dismiss what that true power is. But that also doesn't mean that these attacks are limitless. you know what I'm saying? On the flip side of this coin, there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of toxic Bleach fans out there that love to jerk off Ichigo and Aizen to the ends of the earth, man. Pretty much to the point of them being unbeatable, let me tell you. But again, I'll just chalk it up to it being another symptom of the years and years of Bleach downplay. And at the end of the day, every fan base has its toxic section of the club deep down in the depths of the basement of whatever fan club that might be. So it is what it is in that case. But that still doesn't mean that Ichigo would just stop Naruto. Like, he would just wash Naruto no diff. Like, I'm gonna leave it alone. Anytime a Bleach fan gets triggered with me nowadays, I'm at a point where I'm like, you know, it is what it is. These Bleach fans have been fighting for their life.
I'm fighting for my life.
Personally, if you ask me, I think the internet has been on a trend of hating Naruto in recent years, but I mean, let's talk about it. Somebody gotta talk. To wrap up this video though, again, when it comes to Bleach, fans are just extremely protective of it, you know, which sometimes comes off as condescending attacks, calling me insults like Naruto and whatnot, but it's the internet. What can you do?
Y'all killing me with this.
If it's me, I apologize. I'm just high, so sometimes I'll just emphasize. I'm just shy, so I really need to